All right. Let's give this bull streams a chance to sync up here before we get started. We will be going over the market, going over today's plays. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for August 6th, 2021. Qs down zero point 0.4 there. SPY made new highs of 0.17. Qs made new highs yesterday. Okay, and we've been bullish for a couple weeks now, a few weeks. After we got this pivot here, we confirmed higher. Hourly went back into an uptrend. But we've been all out bullish on these. I'm kind of waiting to see, is the IWM going to participate? It's doing what it needs to do, right? That's been what we expected all along. I thought there was potential for the IWM to just run up and then have to play the next pullback. But we're saying if it bases up here, 20 MA will no longer be pointing down, will start to flatten out and curl up underneath. And all three will be bullish. So that was what we were expecting in the market, and just the bullish bias continuing to follow through. All right. It's been a really, really busy week. It's fine that the market is not moving too much. The bias is pretty clear. And so that's good. But honestly, the focus has been all about the individual names. And so we'll go through the plays from today. Okay. And go over those. Yeah, it's been honestly a little bit tiring, but also fun, right? So hopefully, you're having fun trading. And not every trade, is going to be great or be fun, but I think having things to do, having a lot of things to go after is great. Okay, so, that's what we if we love trading, the more that we get to do it, the better. Sometimes, especially during those in between periods, it's a little bit harder to sit on hands or make sure you stay focused on quality and not let your standards slip. Okay, let's go over the plays from today. I'll start with the EXPE because I did try this EXPE, and it just would not go. So EXP, I like this gap down a lot. Clearing here, starting to roll over on the weekly as well. You can watch this for Monday, but honestly, after dealing with it today, I think I probably won't. It's just spready. But EXPE, I started off playing the open, this drop, and then it gave me this inside bar, so I had to kill it. So it's fine. It made a little bit first. Okay, and then did another sell setup. So then I played the sell setup, and then I put an inside bar. I trailed it to there, but I took some slippage. So this one lost a little bit on the replay, and then set up again like I was going to do a breakdown, and then again inside bars, and I think this one made a little bit because I killed it as soon as it popped again over this bar. So on the EXPE, at the end of the day, just kind of a big waste of time. Okay, I liked the gap a lot, and these setups are fine. It just wasn't meant to go. Today didn't really follow through at all. I took it off a chart after that. So I thought, I've never had this happen before, where you get a 3 in a row, like 3 times. It looks like it's going to follow through, and then just reverses. Okay, that's not what you want to see on plays, because we're playing significant breaks of either support, this sell setup is breaking a pivot or starting a new pivot, right? There, it should get follow through. If it's not going to get follow through, then there's something wrong with it. Now, sometimes, you might get shaken out of a play, but it shouldn't be doing it over and over again. Then, no good. Okay. All right. Next focus, and another favorite, I think, yeah, EXPE, FEYE were my 2 favorite gap downs. And then there were 2 favorite gap ups, but neither of them triggered. So we can look at them. I'll show you why they were favorites. Let me add them here so I do that. Okay, FEYE, I called this twice because I just really wanted to play it if it was going to trigger. So the FEYE, the first play was this here. Underneath the low, stop above 1787. Okay, so if that broke down, I was going to play it. It went up and said, cancel the play. Okay, we come back down, and then now we're setting up another base here. So again, under low of the day, this time stop over 1776. I said just put it at 1780. So it would have been, if you were to the penny, would have been 77. I just rounded up to 80. Okay, target one was 17. Okay, just because it would be up nicely and we would want to protect some. It'd be up about an hour and a half. And we got there really fast. Okay, just like right away. So you see why, you know, if this had, let's say, done this, right, did the breakdown and then did the inside bar, right, then and it went back up, then that's a sign this probably isn't going to work. When we play these breakdowns, when we play these patterns, right, it's more often than not you're going to see some follow. You're going to see follow through right away. Okay, so we trailed half, 1 minute bar by bar. Okay. And then on the next one, we broke 17. We took another portion, and the final target was the weekly 200, 1620. Big target, right? We never got there, so we ended up just closing at the end of the day at 1667. So that was good. In it all day, if you just followed with me, I just did hourly bar by bar, pretty straightforward for the last piece. Okay, and I closed it basically like a minute or two before the close. Whenever it like kind of did this, yeah, once it did this pop, we said, okay, just take it. Because there's only like 5 minutes left. Okay, so that was the FUIE. That was good on the FUIE. Good setup, good pattern, and reasonable enough follow through. Okay, on the FUIE. So this one did have to call it twice, but that's fine. Just really liked it. And then here are the kind of favorite gap ups. So the AIG I liked. I don't really remember seeing any entries on this that I liked. It may have been that I just missed it. I'll take a look at it right now. Yeah, no, I don't really like these entries. This 5 minute buy setup is kind of okay. When it took out this pivot, it's kind of okay, but they're all just okay. But that was bullish. And then this one ended up being really messy. I watched it at the open trade. It was a lot of back and forth. It opened late. I don't remember how late this opened. Not that late, I guess 2 minutes late. And then I was trying to watch it, but and then it got sold, so there's no entry. And then just base at the bottom, which I don't play any of these downtrend things to try and play them long. The gap ended up being too big too. I remember the gap increased significantly right before the open, so that also made this worse on this switch. VMEO we found a little bit later. That was a really nice call from James underneath this base here. So that was really pretty. Follow through, covered it when it made new lows in here. I think he trailed the whole thing there. So that was really nice on the VMEO. Really pretty pattern. And then, yeah, EXPE was the only thing that didn't work for me today. Also played this ZGNX. ZGNX didn't play it in the morning, just this 15 minute here. Didn't make that much though, because once it made new lows, it got the bounce, and then it just trailed a little bit in the money on the back half. But it's a really pretty pattern. I like this pattern a lot. Look how tight this base got. But I decided to use all of this because I didn't really trust it to play it just with like a 5-cent stop on the ZGNX. I wasn't sure if I was going to get filled on this because it was basing right at the half number. And so I did take a few cent slippage, but I thought I might not even get filled at all. So I'm glad at least it filled. And unit I passed on because I thought the daily was up too much. Daily, it was at like 1286 here. I'll show you the base. I ended up letting that one go though. That was pretty good. Good on the follow through. Here it is, 1286. Look at that base. 1286 here by 1280 or 79 if you want to round down a little bit. I think one thing I remember from this is that when it did the base, I think the volume started to quiet down. Yeah, and that's pretty good. That is what you want to see. Let me see if it's more pronounced on the 5, because you don't want to use up all the energy inside the base. Yeah, that's good. Pretty good. Yeah, you can see. Starts to quiet down. Then when it does break out, then you see all that volume come back in. So that means it really just was resting, right? So that really worked. And a lot of that's due to just the virtue of a really tight stop. LTHM I also missed. I tried watching in the morning and then I thought, well, this thing is not playable. But you see eventually got going there. So at least that's the setups from today. That's most of them. There were some others just, either kind of didn't go anywhere or something like the DVAX, which got to target one and then didn't work in the back half. So this is like either a break even play or small winner. A lot of stuff like that. But these were really the focus, the one that I went over just right from the open. And those are the ones that I played. So like FUIE, EXPE, ZGNX came up a little bit later. So did the VMEO. So these were all kind of like additional finds. But yeah, it's been like that all week. Like a lot of stuff to start with and a lot of stuff to find later. Okay, so hopefully you're doing well. I know it's a little bit tiring just because of the change of pace, but we've been talking about that. This is what would happen when earnings season picks up. Feel a little bit like your head is spinning, so you just got to kind of reorient yourself. So it's important for me to go and kind of identify what I'm going to focus on. So, even though I didn't play the Switch or the AIG, these were the two favorites, EXP and FEYE, and FEYE ended up being the big play, right? So I know what to focus on, and then whenever I get a breather, I'll do some scanning, see if I can find some other things. A lot of times they just come from the earnings list, so we know kind of where to narrow the scan down. Okay, I think we are now probably on the other side of the peak of earnings season. Doesn't mean next week will be slow. I expect it won't. I hope it won't. I hope we don't just kind of drop off a cliff as far as activity. I don't think we will. I think we'll still have stuff to look at maybe for the next 2 weeks. Okay, and then after that, we'll assess, what the market is doing, what the follow through is looking like on these plays, and then maybe we need to dial it back a little bit as we get into September maybe. But we'll see. Right now, I think it's, play the setups, try to manage appropriately, and there's just when things get moving, they're given a lot of opportunity. Okay. All right. Hope you did well today. Hope you did well this week. We'll be back at it tomorrow. If you felt like you kind of left some money on the table, or you made some mistakes this week, I think next week we'll still have a chance to kind of trade plenty. Okay, so just make whatever adjustments you need to make over the weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday. All right. Have a great weekend.